If you really want a woman's attention, you got to make her feel something. So today we got a question from Bro who goes on to say, yo, Elliot, what to do if a woman suddenly stops messaging you or ignores your messages? He says, keep in mind, in my situation, we were talking for 2 months. Do you call her out on what she's doing is childish and move on? Or do you just ignore back and move on? Which one would be the best option? Great, man. So I want to approach this first by talking about a little bit of the difference between men and women, right? A little bit of a difference here. And when it comes to relationships, men tend to deal with other men and enjoy company of other men on an intellectual level or an interest level, right? When we're dealing with dudes, it's a matter of like, are we thinking the same thoughts and having a great conversation about it? And we can go deep into certain rabbit holes and just enjoy ourselves through conversation. Or are we doing shit together? Are we doing shit together? Are we lifting together, right? Where with women and men, it's a little bit different. And I think this is an important distinction to make, because a lot of times guys think that they should have the same kind of relationship they have with men with women. They try to deal with women on an intellectual, interest-based level. But when it comes to a woman and her interest in maintaining a relationship with a man, it 99% of the time has to have some sort of emotional aspect to it. And a lot of men miss this because we don't relate to other men in that way. We don't relate to, even when we're first dealing with women, we don't necessarily deal with them in an emotional way, although it's very physical and emotions are physical. It's usually through what we see. She looks good, right? And then we salivate. And so that's the reason why we want to continue our conversation. But with a woman, it's more of a feeling in here, right? Not necessarily down here right away. It's a feeling in the heart. And the lightest feelings that come from the heart are usually laughter and curiosity. They're higher vibration feelings. I'm giggling, laughing, feeling something, or I'm curious, open, right? And if you're dealing with a woman and she's ignoring you, there's a good chance you're not tickling her heart. You're not getting her to feel something. You're not dealing with her on that high vibe emotional frequency that she needs in order to be interested in you. I hope you're following. So when a woman ignores you, it means that you ain't giving her the feelings that she wants. And you listen, fellas, like, this is true because women will often like dump a good looking guy. He's a good looking guy. He's got a great job. How many times have you seen this experience or had this experience or seen this? She dumps the good dude and then she goes with a bad guy who like doesn't have a job. He's not even really that good looking. He's kind of a douchebag, but he makes her feel something. And it could be that high vibe feeling, but it could also be out of that curiosity that causes her to dig deeper into, some shadow emotion that attracts her to the man. What do I mean by that? Like if he is somehow mean to her, like says mean things to her, talks about something about her body and calls it like fat or ugly, right? That openness that she naturally has then allows wounds, insecurities to be exposed that he then touches, right? So curiosity, as opposed to the light experience of laughing, curiosity is an openness, but whatever's touched on the inside with regard to that openness and the more intense that emotion is, the more she's going to be drawn to that man. It seems strange, right? You would expect her to just want to talk to the guy that talks to her in a nice way, right? And this is just the difference between male and female psychology. And listen, I'm not giving you dating advice. I'm giving you biological advice. I have 3 daughters. I watch it with them. I see it. I can see it. I have a wife. I see it. And of course, I'm the king of boys, right? Like I've been dealing with men my entire life. I'm the oldest of all, bunch of boys, captain of a football team. Anyway, so I can see these things, and I'm just trying to have you experience this, the ability to see this shit. So What do? She's ignored you because you didn't make her feel anything brand new, nothing good. She's not feeling you. Well, you could be upset and send her a message that says you're being childish, but that's not only is it not going to work, but now she has this sense that she's over you because she stimulated anger in you. And so now she has power over you. And when a woman has a power over a man, she loses respect for that man. And having a lack of respect for a man, well, it can lead to all kinds of negative emotions and feelings about that guy, like disdain. But it won't allow her to be able to rise to that light feeling because she doesn't feel safe around a man that she can't respect. A woman needs to feel safe in order to open their heart and be light, right? They need to feel safe. Even in the course of curiosity, they need to feel sort of firm in their witness in order to open to, like, what's going on with this guy. I'm curious about this guy. I'm curious about him. What's he doing? What's he up to, right? As opposed to, I already got this guy figured out. I already got this guy under my control. This guy already likes me. There's no big deal. This guy is kind of boring. I don't feel anything, right? And it closes. It dries her up. She's not interested. The boat it's like on its way out, right? Like it's on its way out. She's ignored you for, I don't know, a couple days, couple weeks, and you're wondering what's going on. If you really want to get her attention back, right? Like, of course, there's real alpha, and then there's I'm going to do alpha, right? Real alpha is I got so many options that I forgot about you too. I wonder what happened to that girl. Like honest curiosity. Like, I wonder what happened. Moving on, right? And that's hard to fake. If that's not, and obviously you're not feeling that way. That's hard to fake. It's hard to fake that, right? Like you could pretend and you can force that, but you know, the truth is, like, you really wonder, like, where the hell is this girl? Like, where's she at? I want to hang out with her. I want to be with her. Why is she calling me, right? Needy, weak, right? And I get it. I know what it feels like to be needy and weak, right? But you don't want to proceed from that position. You don't want to go talk to her from that position. You don't want to do anything from that position. So you're still curious. You still want to talk to her. You still want her attention. You got to make her feel one of those two things. You got to either make her like laugh, you got to give her some sort of a light feeling, or open up her curiosity. The one that's going to strike hardest and deepest and is probably going to be more at your disposal is curiosity. One thing that will make her curious is if you just don't respond back to her, right? So by mere virtue of you just, like, option number 2, ignoring her, she's gonna be like, I wonder why he did. Like, she was playing the game first. I don't know if it's a game or whatnot. Somebody else has her attention right now that's giving her good feelings. But she'll think about you and she'll remember that she got something from you. She got attention from you. And now you have totally removed your attention from her. And there's a funny thing about, like, positive and negative reinforcement. People think that positive reinforcement is always like saying nice things. Positive reinforcement is any kind of response. Negative reinforcement is a complete withdrawal of response. And so you can gain her, you will gain back her curiosity with negative reinforcement. I mean, like, I'm not reinforcing that. I'm not doing anything about that. I actually forgot about you. Now, the curiosity thing has to be sort of like, you can't throw curiosity in somebody's face. Just like you can't make her curious. You can't force her to be curious, just like you can't force her to have an orgasm, right? It's got to be subtle. And so here's now, like, you're playing alpha. Like, you want to win her back and you want to use a strategy. And once again, I'm not a dating coach, but it's just human nature and female nature, male nature. She needs to see you as a guy that's in high demand with other women or even other guys. It can be both. If she sees that you're a high status guy, right? Either like maybe she's following you on, I don't know, Instagram or whatever it is, right? You know she's still following you. And she sees you like doing something with a celebrity, or she sees you like looking like the alpha or the boss with other guys, that's gonna make her curious because the woman always wants the best guy. So if she sees you like winning a contest, she sees you, it's so funny, I remember this. I remember this when I was in college, like a lot of girls didn't pay any attention to me when I was just like a normal football player. But then when I became like MVP, like all of a sudden these girls wanted to pay attention to me. I was like, oh, this is interesting. Because I'm king of the boys, because I'm winning with the boys, the girls are curious. They like you when you're king of the boys, right? The other thing is she will be curious if she sees other women are interested in you. And I don't know how another way you can do that. You know, we live in social media world. So like put up a picture where you're around lots of pretty girls. Even better would be you're in a picture with other pretty girls and the girls are laughing. It looks like the girls are having a great time, right? You could be like one of these, these guys who like fake their lives for Instagram and they like hire a bunch of girls to do shit with them. Whatever. That's kind of like, that's sneaky and it's stupid, but like, hey, desperate times call for desperate measures. If you really want to do that, maybe you do. I don't know. I'm not judging you. But that's it, man. Like the bottom line is that like she's not feeling anything about you, and the kiss of death is boredom. She's bored about you. She's bored. And she'll continue to be bored if you try to relate to her on an intellectual level, try to reason with her, right? Try to do something with her like you would do with your boys. That would work with your friends because, guys we're pretty surface level when it comes to this kind of shit. But if you want her attention, you got to make her feel it, dude. Make her giggle or make her curious about you. Done.